Hi friends, Indian economy, third chapter, liberalization, privatization, globalization and appraisal. ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു നോട്ട് ഇതിലാണ്. ഇതിൽ ആദ്യത്തെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, explain the background of economic reforms in India in 1991. India achieved a reasonable success during the period 1950-1990, but we also suffered major drawbacks. Assessing our achievements and failures, we found some deficiencies of the strategy 1950-1990, which lead to the economic reforms in 1990. The deficiencies are the following. Three screenshot എടുക്കാം. Deficiencies are the following. The Act like MRTP Act prevented large companies from investment. Act like FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, restricted foreign investment. Then reservation of many goods for small scale industries led to poor investment. Progressive taxation reaches absurd level. This encouraged tax evasion and created black money. Protection of domestic industry through high levels of import duties made domestic industry inefficient. Screenshot എടുക്കാം. The public sector was performing poorly. The crisis 1991 was another background. In 1991, due to Gulf War, petroleum price rose sharply. Our export to Gulf countries declined, led to trade deficit. Budget deficits budget deficit means government expenditure, excess of government receipt. To overcome this crisis, we approached World Bank, IBRD, and IMF, International Monetary Fund, and received a loan of $7 billion. World Bank or IMF imposed some conditions. World Bank and IMF imposed some conditions. They are, first one, liberalize the Indian economy. Second one, liberate the private sector from excessive government control. Third one, remove control on international trade. Screenshot എടുക്കാം. India agreed the above conditions and announced the new economic policy NEP in 1991. The government announced a twofold program. First one, stabilization measures, refers to short-term measures to correct foreign exchange crisis and inflation. Structural adjustment program measures to improve productivity of the economy. Changes in industrial and labor trade policies are structural adjustment measures. സ്ക്രീൻഷോട്ട് എടുക്കാം. ഇനി അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, വാട്ട് ആർ ദി ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് ദി ന്യൂ എക്കണോമിക് പോളിസി introduced in India in 1991? The future features of new economic policies are liberalization, privatization, and globalization. These are explained below. First one, liberalization. Liberalization means liberating the economy from government restrictions on economic growth. The earlier policy of government intervention created the license permit Raj. It led to corruption, delays, and inefficiency. Liberalization in different sectors are explained below. സ്ക്രീൻഷോട്ട് എടുക്കാം. First one, deregulation of industrial sector. Industrial sector reforms. Licensing reduced to industries like alcohol, cigarettes, hazardous chemicals, explosives, drugs, etc. Others have been delicensed. Then dereservation. Now only defense equipments, atomic energy, and railways are reserved for public sector. സ്ക്രീൻഷോട്ട് എടുക്കാം. Dereservation of goods for small scale industries. Then amendment of MRTP and FERA to facilitate private investment. Then B, financial sector reforms. It includes banks, insurance, stock market, foreign exchange market, etc. The reforms are the following. First one, bank branch licensing liberalized. New generation private banks like HDFC, ICICI, and foreign banks are allowed. Deposits and lending rates deregulated. CRR and SLR reduced, facilitating more money with banks. New life insurance and general insurance companies were allowed in private sector. Capital market liberalized. Mutual funds opened to the private sector. Foreign institutional investors, mutual funds, were allowed to invest in Indian stock market. സ്ക്രീൻഷോട്ട് എടുക്കാം. ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സെക്ടർ റിഫോംസ്. Then tax reforms. Tax reforms are reduction in personal income tax, corporation tax, excise duty, customs duty, etc. Introduction of GST in July 2017. Tax reforms. Next, foreign exchange reforms. The exchange rate, exchange rate formerly determined by RBI, that is known as fixed exchange rate, was replaced by flexible exchange rate. Exchange rate. Now, demand and supply of foreign exchange determine the exchange rate. Then trade and investment policy reforms. Imports liberalized. Import duties reduced. Quota removed. Import licensing abolished. Export duties removed. Then privatization. Privatization means giving away ownership, management of government enterprises to private companies. Disinvestment is one form of privatization. Privatization. It implies selling of government equity, PSU, public sector units, to the private sector. The purpose of sale was mainly to improve financial discipline and facilitate modernization. Rising revenue for the government. Some companies in areas like petroleum, steel, power, engineering, etc., doing well were given autonomy by declaring them as Navaratnas. Screenshot എടുക്കാം. Then third one, globalization. Globalization means integration of the economy with the world economy. Globalization is the turning the world into one whole or creating a borderless world. Then next question, outsourcing. This is one of the important outcome of the globalization process. In outsourcing, a company hires regular services, computer software, ITES like medical transcription, accounting, legal services, editing, animation, etc. from external sources, mostly from other countries. India's huge pool of skilled human resources, low wage rates, and proficiency in English language have made India a major outsourcing destination for MNCs, multinational companies, MNCs in developed countries. Screenshot എടുക്കാം. Next one, അടുത്ത question, World Trade Organization ആണ് WTO, World Trade Organization. GATT, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. GATT was established in 1948. Aims at promoting international trade. In 1995, GATT was replaced by WTO. The objectives of WTO: equal opportunities to all countries in international market. Encouraging multilateral trade. Third one, a rule-based trading system. Removing arbitrary trading restrictions. Then extension of trade by including trade in services like banking, insurance, etc. Then removal of tariff and non-tariff barriers in trade. ഈ ചാപ്റ്റർ ലാസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്. ഇന്ത്യൻ എക്കോണമി ഡ്യൂറിങ് റിഫോംസ് ആൻ അസസ്മെൻറ്റ്. Economic reforms began in India in 1991. It is time to make an assessment of the reforms. We can assess the reforms with respect to GDP growth, foreign investment, employment generation, etc. as follows. First one, GDP growth. Economic growth is the increase in the growth rate of GDP. The following table shows the growth of GDP during reform period. GDP growth കാണാം. 80-90 5.79, 90-2000 5.8, 2000-2010 7.26, 2015-16 7.6% GDP growth rate. ശതമാനത്തിലാണ് പറയുന്നത്. The table shows that there has been a marked improvement in GDP. The growth is mainly driven by service and the industrial sector, but low growth rate is seen in agriculture sector. The higher GDP growth is indeed an achievement of reforms. Then foreign investment. Foreign investment in India has shown a big increase in reform period. See table. Foreign direct investment FDI, foreign direct investment FII, foreign institutional investment. Total investment ആണ്. in മില്യൺസിലാണ് പറയുന്നത്. 90-91 103 മില്യൺ ആയിരുന്നു. അത് 2005-6 20,243 മില്യണായിട്ട് വർദ്ധിച്ചു. ഫോറിൻ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് വർദ്ധിച്ചതായി ടേബിൾ കാണാം. നെക്സ്റ്റ്, ഫോറിൻ എക്സ്ചേഞ്ച് റിഫോംസ്. Foreign exchange reserves shoot up from 6 billion in 1991 to 363 billion in 2016. Now, India is one of the largest foreign exchange reserve holders in the world. വിദേശ നാണയ ശേഖരം വർദ്ധിച്ചു എന്നാണ് കാണിക്കുന്നത്. Then growth and employment. തൊഴിൽ വളർച്ച, സാമ്പത്തിക വളർച്ച. India did not succeed in creating job opportunities. In keeping with economic reforms, some scholars point out that the reform led growth has not generated sufficient employment opportunities in the country. Hence, our growth is often called jobless growth. Reforms in agriculture. economic reforms have not benefited agriculture. The growth rate in agriculture was only 3% during the reform period. The problems in agriculture are mainly due to the following. First one, decline in public investment in agriculture. Second one, reduction in import duties leading to imports. Third one, removal of fertilizer subsidy has led to increase in the cost of production. Fourth one, agriculture production shift from domestic market to export market encouraged the farmers to shift to cash crops from food crops. Then reforms on industry. Globalization is often seen as creating conditions for the free movement of goods adversely affected the local industries and employment opportunities. Moreover, a developing country like India still does not have the access to developed countries' market. Seventh one, disinvestment. Every year government fixes a target for disinvestment. In 1991, the target was 2,500 crores and achieved more than 3,040 crores. The critics point out that the assets of PSU, public sector units, പൊതുമേഖലാ സ്ഥാപനം, have been undervalued and sold to the private sector, thereby huge losses to the government. Disinvestment. Then reforms and fiscal policies. Tax reduction led to reduction in tax revenue, had a negative impact on development and welfare expenditure. ഇത്രയാണ് തേർഡ് ചാപ്റ്റർ നോട്ട്. താങ്ക് യു ഓൾ.